5, the Mobile County Sheriff's Office says a man killed by a Prichard police officer was not armed at the time.
NBC 15 just learned that new piece of information about the story we first broke Saturday night. NBC 15's Christian Jennings is live at the Sheriff's Office with more. Christian?
That's right. Sheriff Sam Cochran says his investigators did not recover a weapon at the scene, but they did recover a cell phone. And that's interesting because many people that we talked to on the scene when this first broke over the weekend told us that they saw the man who was killed, Lawrence Hawkins, that they saw him reach for a cell phone in his truck and that they heard some type of exchange between the officer, Jonathan Murphy, and the Lawrence Hawkins, the man who was killed. They heard an exchange and then they heard pow, pow, pow. They heard 3 shots. So we've learned today from the sheriff's office that there was not a weapon. They do not believe that Mr. Hawkins was armed when this police officer, Mr. Murphy, fired those shots. We do understand that Mr. Hawkins was shot when he was standing beside his truck, and this was in front of his house on First Avenue. We asked the sheriff's office, why was this traffic stop initiated in the first place? That is not clear at this time because something key here, the sheriff's office has not been able to talk with the officer yet. He has obtained a lawyer, and we understand that they are going to be speaking with the sheriff's office later this evening. So still a lot of questions to answer since they haven't been able to talk with this officer. We also asked the sheriff about something that many people in the community told us. They told us that the officer did not have his lights on leading up to this stop, and that he didn't turn the lights on until after the shooting. Here's what the sheriff had to say about that.
We have reports concerning that, whether the lights were on and at what time the lights were turned on, whether they were turned on after the shots were fired, before the shots were fired. And we've been given statements from other officers as to what the involved officer has told them. But we can't necessarily go on what those statements are, but it does speak to some of those circumstances, as does the next door neighbor and other witnesses in the area.
Prichard Police, they are not commenting on this except to say that the officer has been with the department most recently for 18 months. That's what we were told earlier, and we were also told that he will be placed on administrative leave pending this investigation. So still many questions to be answered tonight. Reporting live here at the Sheriff's Office, Christian Jennings, NBC 15 News.
Christian, thanks. Well, tonight for the first time, we are hearing from the woman who says Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore pursued her sexually when she was just 14 years old.
As she told her story this morning on the Today Show.
On the second occasion that I went with him, he basically laid out some blankets on the floor of his living room and proceeded to seduce me, I guess you would say.
This comes as more news was breaking about another allegation against Democratic Senator Al Franken.
And that
Today, Roy Moore's first accuser, Lee Korfman, told her story on camera for the first time, describing what she says happened inside Moore's home when she was just 14.
During the course of that, he removed my clothing. He left the room and came back in wearing his white underwear. And he touched me over my clothing, what was left of it. And he tried to get me to touch him as well.
I have not been guilty of sexual misconduct.
Moore forcefully denied all allegations, calling them political lies, tweeting, "The elitists in Washington don't want Christian conservatives in their club." His supporters promising Alabama voters will not turn their backs on Moore.
They're going to come out and they're going to vote for him, I predict, in huge numbers. Why? Because he has a proven track record of being a good, godly, principled man.
The former judge is continuing his public fight for the Senate as current Senator Al Franken remains out of sight today amidst a new allegation, days after radio host Leanne Tweeden accused him of forcibly kissing and groping her. Another woman, Lindsay Mins, tweeted last week Franken grabbed her in 2010 while the two were taking a picture at the Minnesota State Fair. NBC News has not confirmed the allegation, and in a statement to CNN, Franken said he did not remember taking the picture, but added he felt badly that Mins felt disrespected.
A total of 9 women have come forward with allegations against Roy Moore. He denies all of them. The
Republican National Committee and high-ranking GOP lawmakers have withdrawn their support for him, but Moore is refusing to drop out of the race. The special election now just about 3 weeks away on December 12th.
New tonight at 5, the Tuscaloosa police officer under investigation for dragging a Fairhope woman at an Alabama game has been cleared of any wrongdoing. Tonight, police have released the body camera video. We first told you about this story earlier this month. Cherie Brush was smoking inside the stadium during the Alabama-LSU game when an officer told her to put it out because smoking is not allowed. She then put the cigarette in his face. That's when the officer pulled her from her seat and dragged her several feet down the concrete row. Today, the Tuscaloosa Police Department says the officer did not act inappropriately. NBC 15 talked to Brush after the incident. She tells us she was simply handing the officer the cigarette. Brush told us she plans to file a lawsuit.
Crime alert tonight. Mobile police are looking for a man wanted for burglarizing several businesses in West Mobile. Take a look at these surveillance pictures. Police say the man you see here wearing camo has burglarized multiple stores in the Snow Road and Tanner Williams Road area. Police are offering a cash reward if you tell them who this is.
Well, carrying over from last week, our string of great sunsets continues tonight as the sun goes down in the western sky. Chill in the air for sure. 50 degrees in Mobile right now, only 54 in Gulf Shores. The weather headlines: developing storm system for Wednesday and Thursday. This is one that we've been tracking since last week. However, much farther south over the Gulf of Mexico. That means the rain stays away from the Mobile area and it moves basically into the Florida Peninsula on that Thursday time frame. Here's the rain forecast for Tuesday. A few showers for northwest Florida. As we go into Wednesday, more of that rain, the better rain chance moves into the Florida Peninsula. So this is on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday. Places like Orlando, Jacksonville will get some of those showers. So with that in mind, here is a look at the forecast for our area. For Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 67, 62 on Thursday, 65 on Friday. If you're traveling out of the area by road or by plane, I have your forecast covered coming up.
President Trump has declared North Korea a state sponsor of terror. Why he says he did it and what sort of impact that declaration will have moving forward.
Nebraska's Public Service Commission has voted to permit the Keystone XL pipeline to cross the state. What this means for plans to expand across the country.
Notorious cult leader Charles Manson has died. The California Department of Corrections says he passed away of natural causes yesterday. Manson and his followers, a cult known as the Family, were behind a string of gruesome murders in California in 1969. The attacks left 7 people dead, including pregnant actress Sharon Tate. Tonight at 6, the connection Manson had to Mobile.
Going beyond just tough rhetoric, President Donald Trump is putting North Korea back on the list of state sponsors of terrorism.
In addition to threatening the world by nuclear devastation, North Korea has repeatedly supported acts of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil.
The president made the announcement today.